Yeah, this infraction refers to part payment of procurement without written contract agreement. The cost is about 75 million Ghana cedis. What is the status with regards to this?
Madam Chair, the contract has been signed. It was signed in March of 2024.
It was signed
in March of 2024.
That was after the audit.
That was before the audit, but the audit was from January 2023 to December 2023. So at the time, there was no contract when the payment was made.
In the first place, why will you even make a payment without even contract? There is no contract.
Let me make it easy. This is a procurement violation, and it's under Section 92 of the Public Procurement Act 2003 as 663 as amended. The recommendation is for us to sanction you. So ECG, those who are involved, signing, paying 75 million Ghana cedis without a contract, you are going to meet the Attorney General. So, clerk, have it out there. This is 4 infractions that they're going to meet the Attorney General. Thank you. Let's move to the next one, please. And it's paragraph 175. Honorable Akwesi Kwenedu will take care of that one.
Chairman, thank you very much. A single source procurement that ECG made. They made that with the argument or the excuse that they are a state-owned enterprise converted into a company and therefore not subject to the PPA regulations and procurement process. That's what you told the auditors, per the audit report that we have in front of us. But the auditors disagreed with you and said once you take tariffs sanctioned by the state as IGF, it becomes state funds, and therefore you must be subject to the PPA arrangement in terms of procurement. And even with that, your own manual for procurement talks about competitive tendering and selection. To them, you did not go by any of these. And you went ahead and single-sourced a procurement service. And they recommend, Chairman, Section 92, because it's a procurement infraction, and therefore I'll revert to you to be part of the infractions as so directed to the Auditor General, Attorney General.
So this was a single-source procurement to, what's the name, Haptel Limited, and you didn't go through the procurement processes, and the recommendation is that sanctions under Section 92 of the Public Procurement Act 2003, Act 663 as amended, should be applied to the officers involved. We also recommended that management should always adhere to the provisions in the Procurement Act stated above in all of these procurement activities. And again, auditors and clerk, you add this one to the issues they are going to answer to the Attorney General on it. This is a major violation, and those involved should face the law. Thank you very much. The next one is on paragraph 182, and Honorable Day will take care of it.
Thank you, Chair. This infraction, it's linked to 2 major things. First, source deduction of service fees done by Haptel for service rendered to ECG. And then the second one, also what we call project legacy costs inherited by ECG. Now, the issue has to do with Haptel company providing collection services for ECG, and in the year 2024, a total amount of 10.34 billion Ghana cedis was deemed to have been collected by Haptel, for which Haptel charged a fee of 148.9 million Ghana cedis. The issue is 2023, I'm sorry, Chair. Thanks for the correction. And this, the above condition is deemed to have affected the company's ability to independently verify the total revenue collected, because Haptel deducted the amount upfront before remitting what they have collected. And this commission charges, which was collected or deducted upfront, may affect transparency and accountability in revenue collection and reporting. Now, the auditors made two very significant recommendations. One, that management ensures that all revenue collections are deposited in gross into a designated bank account before payments of commissions are made to the service provider. Number two, the auditors also recommended that further management was urged to ensure that Haptel Limited sends monthly billings of fees charged on revenue collections before payments are made to the service provider. Now, this is to ensure that it provides an audit trail for revenue collections. My first question is, what is the status of implementation of this recommendation? Then let me just ask the second one so you put all together. The second one has to do with unjustified project legacy cost. In reviewing the account, it was realized that a total amount of 101.1 million Ghana cedis was deemed to be recorded on the books of ECG as legacy cost. And this arose from some unexplained costs that were recorded on the books of ECG. Now, this is what the recommendation, or this is the recommendation of the auditors. There was no, and I read in verbatim, we review the contract agreement between ECG and Haptel for provision of a digital payment platform service provided, dated 20th March, and noted that ECG was to pay Haptel a total amount of 101,105,243 Ghana cedis 98 pesos in respect of service fees for transactions processed from the 1st of November 2022 to the 31st of December 2023. However, management did not provide the basis of the amount owed and the details of the transactions from which the cost was derived. The above situation undermined transparency and could lead to payment for no work done and deprive the company the needed funds for other activities. The recommendation of the auditors, they recommended disallowance of the purported legacy debt of 101.1 million Ghana cedis. Madam Chair, Mr. Chair, these are the issues that ECG has to answer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. What we call commission is not really commission, is the fee that ECG pays to Haptel for collecting, providing the payment platform for us to collect money. So customers want to buy electricity, they use their mobile money, and they pay us through the Haptel platform, and it comes to us. So the fee for providing the service is what we are calling commission. Truly, it's not that Haptel collects the money for us and then we pay a commission, or provide a service and we pay a commission. No, it's just the service fee. We have problems with working with this, with the directive, that it should be, they should settle as gross. And we have given this to our lawyers. In fact, we just engaged a lawyer to help us to review all our contracts, our major contracts. And Haptel contract is one of them, so that we can align all our contracts to applicable law. I said we've had problem because the PFM Act requires that we collect the money at gross, and that Haptel settles us at gross. For Haptel to settle us at gross, they will need to pay mobile money, the MOMO fee that MTN or Telecel will collect. Those who pay with Visa card, they will need to pay those people on our behalf and then give us an invoice. Then we pay them before they go and pay the mobile money companies and the card providers. So it means that we will have to pay additional. But the Payment Services Act, which was passed in 2019, that is regulated by the Bank of Ghana, allows them to deduct the money as source. So we want to reconcile this together with our auditors, and we have engaged a lawyer to help us to do this. We want to be compliant with the law, and we have started that process. In terms of the legacy costs, we have engaged Haptel to provide us with the evidence. We've been working on this for some time. We only received the documents from them, the data from them yesterday. We have not reviewed it yet, and to see that it is accurate. We have not done that yet. Mr. Chair, I want to confirm here that we have not paid Haptel for this service, and we will not pay until we have reviewed it and are satisfied that they have earned this money.
But, Haptel issue is something that I've already referred to the Attorney General. So your lawyers, our auditors over here, when we get to court, then you guys resolve all those things. You see, you did it as single source. Was the board involved in approving this thing?
Yes.
If the board was involved, they will also be in court to explain why they approved this single source thing. The board should be added to it. When the Attorney General gets it, they will call the board also. So, sir, this is out of our hands.
And
Yes,
Mr.
let's
Chair,
move
I
on.
just want to add that we have negotiated the rate, the fee that Haptel charges for us, and we have reduced that from 3% to 1.6%.
Okay,
we are
sir.
still working to see whether we can have further gains.
Sir, the simple thing is, let's do the right thing. Some of us, when we get into office, we feel so big that we want to do whatever we want. Forget about the law. And then when there's a problem, then we are caught with shoes off. The next infraction is on paragraph 193, and Honorable Eleplem will take care of that one.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Can you please tell the committee and Ghanaians watching us how our taxpayers' money worth 5,144,246 was used to purchase 6,096 units of prepaid meters that have been abandoned. Meanwhile, new meters continue to be procured and issued under the loss reduction program. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, we started implementing the BXC project sometime in 2007, thereabouts. The meters we installed those days, we needed to keep spares for replacement. So these meters were spares that were kept so that if any customer reported a faulty meter, we could go in and replace them. Over the period, technology has changed. So we've moved now to new and better meters. And let me also say that the prepaid meters, ECG didn't start using prepaid meters till 2005, thereabouts. So it was a new technology for us. Okay? So technology has moved on, and we are now using MMS meters. And those spares we kept, apparently we kept too many of them, so we have not used them. We have received a report. We commissioned an evaluation of the stock, and the conclusion is that they are obsolete and we should not use them, and we cannot use them. Okay.
Mr. Chair, can you bring the corporates to book because they have caused financial loss to the state? So if you can add their names to the Attorney General. Thank you.
So the 5.1 million Ghana cedis meters that you purchased is obsolete now.
Mr. Chair, it was not 5.1 that we purchased. We purchased a lot, and we installed a lot, the majority of them. These were spares, additional meters. So the value was much more than this, but they were used. And the 5.1, yes, they were used.
Now, if these ones are obsolete, does it mean that the ones that you gave to customers are also obsolete?
Yes, and we are replacing them.
And you are replacing them?
Yes.
Would there be any cost to the customer?
No, when we replace an existing meter, we don't charge anything to the customer.
Sir, I wish you could have something called secret shoppers. I wish you could have something called secret shoppers. If you could disguise yourself to go to ECG and tell them you need a meter, you will find out whether they are charging them or not charging them. The next infraction is on paragraph 198, and Honorable Enim will take care of that one.
Thank you, Chair. This infraction is quite similar to the procurement breaches we've been looking at. So this had to do with payment of additional costs for items procured, and it's to the tune of $17,092,277 US. The auditors, in their review of some purchase orders, realized that ECG made a payment of $30,730,260 US to various local suppliers for items which could have been purchased or procured from the original manufacturers at a cost of $13,637,983 US. The interesting part of it is that when these items arrived, ECG themselves had to now pay for duties and demurrage after paying these monies to these local suppliers. And it's quite interesting. It's a tall list of local companies. And here the auditors try to do an analysis of how much it would have cost us if we had bought from the original source, whereas ECG decided to pay to these local contractors. And for some of them, Mr. Chair, it's quite interesting that for something that we could have purchased for just 643,000 US dollars, we purchased from a local supplier for 2,073,000. That's the additional cost alone is 1,430,000. For another item which we could have purchased for 1.4 million, we purchased from a local supplier 3.7 million. Additional cost of 2,211,000, and a number of them. So the auditor's recommendation was in two folds. One, that going forward, ECG deals directly with these original manufacturers, and the second one is to apply the sanctions per Section 92 of the Public Procurement Act. ECG, first I would like to find out what you have done on the first recommendation, and two, steps you have taken on the second recommendation.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I believe that this happened because most of these things were sole sourced. And we have changed from that. We are applying the Public Procurement Act. We have started competitive procurement. I must say, though, that not every manufacturer of the materials and equipment we use is interested in supplying directly to us. We have suppliers here who reach out to them and take on the risk of doing business in Ghana. And so not everyone manufacturer wants to supply to us. The cure to that is competitive procurement. Now, when you advertise the opportunity, if the manufacturer is interested, they will participate in the bid. If a supplier wants to be a middleman and is interested, they will also participate in the bid. But at the end of the day, you get the best price out of the competition. And that's what we've decided to do. And if you've been monitoring the newspapers, we've advertised some of the opportunities in the newspapers. So it's competitive procurement using the Public Procurement Act.
Mr. MD, before maybe you go to the second, how you've dealt with the second recommendation, I want to understand something here. Do you know the rationale behind ECG themselves paying the duties and the demurrage for these items when we could have gone there ourselves to purchase? But now we give it to a local contractor who, in practice, should just deliver to ECG office. But now we pay duty and demurrage on these same items. And can you also tell the committee how much duty was paid for all these items?
Mr. Chair, when you procure items, the price you pay depends on the risk that you are passing on to the supplier or the manufacturer. So the price is a measure of risk allocation. And when you are importing goods, you have the Incoterms that define how much risk is passed on to the supplier, and therefore what the responsibility of the supplier is. When the more risk you pass on, the higher the price. So ECG, because we are big and we import a lot of things, we have a shipping department that is licensed to clear goods. So we can do that ourselves because we are big and we import a lot of things. So we try to reduce the price by taking on some of the responsibilities. Okay.
MD, I want you to stop there. So we are looking at the risk in ECG procuring directly from the original suppliers as against us procuring from a local manufacturer. But here we are looking at the additional cost. Can we say that 1,430,400,000, which was an additional cost per one of the orders, was the risk we're paying for? And then we now go ahead and pay for duty and demurrage on these same items. So if we are looking at cost basis, something we could have gotten 643,000, we decide to buy at 2,073,000, and we still go ahead and pay duties, clear them, and this is still a cost-effective way of procuring items.
Mr. Chair, I did not justify the price. I tried to explain why sometimes we choose to clear the goods ourselves. But the price matter, I dealt with it in terms of competitive procurement.
Thank you, MD. So, MD, my last question would be, how have you dealt with these officers that were involved per Section 92 of the Procurement Act?
Mr. Chair, most of the officers are no longer with us, so we would depend on your guidance here.
Okay, Chair, I think we are in your hands now.
Thank you very much, sir. If you read paragraph 201 of this offense, the auditors are saying that the above situation resulted in a loss of 17 million US dollars, which could have been used to offset power producers' liability under the cash waterfall mechanism. The 17 million was excess that we paid. Now, the auditor's recommendation, we recommend to management of ECG to deal directly with the original manufacturers, local and foreign, and desist from splitting procurement orders to local suppliers to safeguard the financial resources of the state. We further recommended that the officers whose actions or inactions cause the infraction should be sanctioned in accordance with Section 92 of the Public Procurement Act. Now, I have a copy of the Public Procurement Act. So the offenses relating to procurement. 1, any person who contravenes any provision of this act commits an offense, and where no provided for the offense, the person is liable on summary conviction to a fine not exceeding 1,000 penalty units or a term of imprisonment, years, or both. Auditors, what is a penalty unit? How much is a penalty unit? I think probably.
I think the last time I checked, I have to be sure, but I think it was 12 cities.
12
So when you
cities.
multiply it.
Okay. So okay, thank you very much. So 1,000 penalty unit. 2, the following shall also constitute offenses under this act: entering or attempting to enter into a conclusive agreement, whether enforceable or not, with any other supplier or contractor where the prices quoted in their respective tenders, proposals, or quotations are or would be higher than would have been the case, has there not been collusion between the persons concerned. B, directly or indirectly influencing in any manner or attempting to influence in any manner the procurement process to obtain an unfair advantage in the award of the procurement contract. C, altering any procurement document with intent to influence the outcome of a tender process, and this includes but is not limited to A, forged arithmetic correction, or B, insertion of documents such as bid security or tax clearance certificate which were not submitted at bid opening, and D, request for clarification in a manner not permitted under this Act. We are working with Auditor General, and they have recommended we sanction you under Section 92. So this case also goes to the Attorney General for prosecution. ECG, you are setting a record over here. You see, management response at the time of audit was, management responded that they would consider the recommendations to deal directly with foreign manufacturers. Does it take an auditor to come and tell you that, hey, do it this way, before you do it that way? Hey, I bet if you gave your money to somebody in your office, go and buy me wachi, you gave the person 20 cedis, and the person came back and said, I couldn't buy wachi because it was too expensive. You would sit down and ask the person, hey, how much was the fish? How much was the wole? How much was the egg? Before you give an additional money. But Abansika, $17 million, so you go to court.